Yeah, this is just a dumb meme I put together because I was constantly, wherever I look, anywhere on social media, you constantly see people attributing to ignorance what can most parsimoniously be explained as being motivated by malice. So, like, one of them that I just saw recently was this guy, Jay Inslee. He's the governor of Washington State in the U.S., and he wants to make it illegal to talk about voting irregularities because this might lead to violence. And you'll see all these tweets appear, and all the sort of quote-unquote center-right people will show up, and they start saying, oh my God, he's so incompetent. He doesn't even understand the First Amendment. And I'm like, like what? Like what? Or Sotomayor gets up there and starts talking about how she wants to make the vaccine mandatory, and then she just starts quoting endless streams of bullshit figures about, for example, the number of children who've been affected in various ways in these sorts of things. And so what happens is everybody likes to frame that as being, something that can be, explained by them being ignorant and incompetent. So that's one of these things that I really wanted to talk about as a little parenthesis in the midst of discussing who's in charge of this, because this fits in with the idea of emergent behavior. It's just a property of a system, and the emergent properties are those that stand apart from these others that operate in concert to generate them. It's something that just sort of happens. Now, there is a place for, these theories about emergence within systems. Absolutely. And there are things for which they provide useful explanatory models. But at the end of the day, as they like to say, you've got it really all boils down to it being little more than them saying, it just happens. Shit just happens. Nobody's doing this. It's never that someone's doing it. It's always just an emergent property, or it's because you have incompetent people in office. It's they can talk about the schools these days are just terrible at what they do. They don't educate people, and I'm like, motherfucker, do you not realize that they perfectly perform their function? They're rollicking success stories, much like all of these crooked politicians. Who they're all crooked as a dog's hind leg. And everybody wants to explain it away as being ignorance or ineptitude. I see people doing this constantly. And in doing so, they literally provide cover. They provide cover under color of criticism. It's a really, really clever technique. They can make fun of governors like Inslee or people like Sotomayor. They just don't understand. And there's something here I want to mention, which is, Morgoth's thing about the hatchling and the strategy of pretending ignorance. Well, I kind of want to call it, this should be an extension of that, or I want to call it like the reverse hatchling, right? It's attributing ignorance to the enemy as a way of providing cover for them so that their activities cannot be seen as evil. It's like, oh, they just didn't know any better. They must have just hatched yesterday. He's not trying to remove, the right to free speech under the First Amendment. No, he's so dumb. He doesn't know what the First Amendment is. And I really think that we should mean this to death. It should just not be accepted any longer anywhere. Wherever you come across it, it should be slapped back into its seat. I mean that. Wherever it is encountered, online, face-to-face conversations, shut it down.